Hello students, already we have started the solution topic for the competitive purpose, and in the last session we have discussed up to Henry's law and its application. Now we will discuss the remaining thing. First we will discuss vapor pressure of liquid. So what is the vapor pressure here? In short, we will write it as Vp, vapor pressure. This is very important concept to understand all the colligative properties and their problems regarding competitive purpose. So this vapor pressure here, if I take a liquid, whenever a liquid is taken in a closed vessel, if you take a liquid in a closed vessel, now here this liquid is present in a closed vessel like this. Half of this vessel is occupied by the liquid. Now these are the liquid molecules which are present at the surface of the liquid. Okay. Now these liquid molecules which are present at the surface, they are having high kinetic energy and they are having maximum tendency to go into the vapor state, and part of the liquid will vaporize and some of the vapors will be formed here. These molecules which are present at the surface, they have maximum tendency to go into the vapor state, so that here vapors are formed here like this. Okay, some of the vapors are formed here. As the time passes, more amount of the vapors are formed here and they will occupy the space that is available above the liquid. And now these gaseous molecules, they are continuously moving in the random manner and they will strike the wall of the container as well as they will strike the surface of the liquid. Whenever they strike the surface of the liquid, they will create some pressure on the surface of the liquid and they get condensed into the liquid here. Here two processes takes place. One is these liquid molecules, they will go into the vapor state. In the vapor state, they are continuously moving in the random manner, and whenever they strike the surface of the liquid, some pressure is created on the surface of the liquid and then they will enter into the liquid state. They get condensed into the liquid state here. So this pressure created by these vapors on the surface of the liquid, that we call it as what? Vapor pressure. This is possible only in the closed vessel. If this vessel is open, means these all the vapors, they will escape out of the vessel and there is no pressure is created on the surface of the liquid here. So compulsory you have to take a closed vessel. In the closed vessel only, these vapors, what happens? They are continuously moving in the random manner. Whenever they strike the surface of the liquid, some pressure is created on the surface of liquid here. So that is called as what? Vapor pressure. At equilibrium, after some time, what happens? A equilibrium position is achieved here. So at equilibrium will rate. At equilibrium, what happens? The number of liquid molecules that are going into the vapor state will be equal to the number of gaseous molecules that are coming into the liquid state here. So that the vaporization, the rate of vaporization will be equal to what? Rate of the condensation. So at the equilibrium, the pressure created by these vapors on the surface of liquid, that is called as vapor pressure of this liquid here. For all the liquids, vapor pressure will be different. You have to keep in mind here. So at equilibrium, what happens? Rate of vaporization will be is equal to the rate of condensation. That means, suppose 10 liquid molecules are going into the vapor state and 10 gaseous molecules that will be coming into the liquid state here. So that constant number of gaseous molecules are present in the gaseous state and they will create some pressure on the surface of liquid here. That is what? Vapor pressure. The pressure created by the vapors on the surface of the liquid in equilibrium position, that is called as what? Vapor pressure. Or else you can quote like the pressure exerted by the vapors in equilibrium with the liquid is called as what? Vapor pressure here. The condition is equilibrium you have to take. At equilibrium compulsory you have to use the word equilibrium here. Okay. So the important points about the vapor pressure is, first point I will write, vapor pressure of any liquid is always less than 1 atmospheric pressure. This is the first point. Next one, we call it as the boiling point. Already you know the boiling point. Boiling point is nothing but it is the particular temperature, the temperature at which vapor pressure of the liquid become equal to 1 atmospheric pressure, and that temperature is called as what? Boiling point. Because if you heat this liquid, some amount of heat is supplied to the liquid, means what happens? the kinetic energy of these liquid molecule will increase, and the number of liquid molecule that are going to the vapor state also increases, so that vapor pressure also increases. So here vapor pressure, this vapor pressure is directly proportional to the temperature, okay. And another point is vapor pressure is inversely proportional to the boiling point, inversely proportional to the boiling point here. And most important thing is vapor pressure is directly proportional to the volatility. Volatility means any liquid is said to be more volatile, means it will form more number of vapors here. These are the some important points about the vapor pressure. Now we will discuss vapor pressure of the solutions of solid in the liquid, okay. Next point is vapor pressure of solution of solid in liquid. Always you keep in mind, whenever a solid is added to the liquid, okay, what happens, a solution will be formed. Here solvent is liquid, here. So here we are discussing about liquid solution. In case of liquid solution, what happens, liquid is the solvent, okay. Mainly we will discuss liquid in liquid and solid in liquid here, okay. First I have taken solid in the liquid here, okay. Here the solvent is liquid and the solute is what, solid here. So we will take solvent plus solute is the solution, it will form solution here. Here solvent is liquid and the solute is solid. This liquid is what, always volatile, it is volatile means it forms vapors. Liquid is volatile and this solid is what, non-volatile, it is. Solid is non-volatile. Non-volatile means it will not form any vapors. Usually only liquids will form vapors on evaporation. In this one, suppose if I take a pure solvent first, this is your pure solvent, this is the pure solvent here. In the pure solvent, the surface of the liquid, it contains only the solvent molecules, okay. This is your liquid, okay. And here only solvent molecules are present in the pure solvent at the surface, so that these are having tendency to escape into the vapor state. Means here what happens, more number of vapors are formed here. For example, on the surface 5 solvent molecules are there, means at a time they are escaping, means 5 vapors will be formed here. Now we will compare the vapor pressure of this pure solvent with the solution. Whenever some non-volatile solute, that is solid, is added to the solvent, it forms what, solution here. So the vapor pressure of this pure solvent, I will take it as P naught, okay. Now we will take the vapor pressure of the solution. So to this solvent, here I will take these solvents where 5 solvent molecules are there. To this pure solvent, if some non-volatile solute is added, non-volatile solute is added means there is a formation of what, solution. And in this solution, the surface of the liquid, it contains solute particles as well as solvent particles. Always you keep in mind, these solute particles, they are being solid, they are non-volatile, they will not form any vapors here. In the case of solution, this surface of the liquid, it contains some of the solute particles also. Here the number of solvent particles which are present at the surface is less as compared to here. Here 5 solvent molecules are there and here only 3 solvent molecules are there, and these solute particles, they will not form any vapors here, okay. This is the solution, we call it as, in case of solution. So here only 3 vapors will be formed, because at the surface only 3 solvent molecules are there. Just for simplicity I have written like this, okay. So if we compare these two, the vapor pressure of the solution will be less as compared to the solution, pure solvent here. Pure solvent is forming 5 vapors at a time, here it is forming only 3 vapors, because the surface is having only 3 solvent molecules here. So because of that, what happens, always the vapor pressure of the pure solvent is more than that of the solution here. For solution, its vapor pressure, I will take it as P here. So what we will do now, this is the vapor pressure of the pure solvent is always greater than the vapor pressure of the solution, because what is the reason here, in case of solution, the surface of the liquid, it contains solute as well as the solvent molecules. Only solvent molecules are responsible for the vapor pressure. They are forming vapors here. Solute particles, they are not involved in the formation of vapors since they are being solid here. But here the fraction of the surface is occupied by what? Solute particle also. That's why the number of solvent particles that are present at the surface decreases and less number of vapors will be formed here. Now you keep in mind one thing here. Whenever solute is added to the pure solvent, its vapor pressure decreases. Pure solvent, vapor pressure is more. Whenever solute is added, it becomes a solution, vapor pressure decreases. From here to here, there is a decrease in the vapor pressure. So this is what? Vapor pressure of the pure solvent minus vapor pressure of the solution. This is always high and this is less. That's why you take difference between these two. So difference between these two is what? Delta P. Lowering of vapor pressure we call it as. This is we call it as what? Lowering of vapor pressure. Vapor pressure is always decreased whenever a non-volatile solid is added here. This is about the vapor pressure of the pure solvent and vapor pressure of the solution of solid in the liquid. Whenever any solid is added to the solvent, its vapor pressure decreases. This is very important point you have to remember. Next point. So the next point is vapor pressure of liquid solution. Vapor pressure of liquid solution. Liquid solution is nothing but in which solute as well as solvent both are liquids only. So in case of liquid solution, solvent component 1, I will take it as solute is component 2. Solvent is also liquid, solute is also liquid. Both are volatile components here. This is also volatile and this also volatile. Always you keep in mind volatile means what? Which forms vapor. Okay, this is also liquid and this also liquid. Solvent also vaporizes to form vapors. Solute also vaporizes to form the vapors here. Suppose if I take solvent as a component A and a solute as a component B here. Whenever these two are mixed together to form a solution, what happens here? Suppose a solution is formed by mixing A plus B, solvent plus solute here. This is a liquid solution where both are the volatile components here. Here what happens? A also vaporizes to form the vapors, B also vaporizes to form the vapors. The total vapor pressure of the solution is partial vapor pressure of A plus partial vapor pressure of B. Here you have to apply Dalton's law here. A also vaporizes to form the vapors like this and they will create pressure on the surface of the liquid. B also vaporizes to form the vapors like this and they will create some pressure on the surface of the liquid here. So the total pressure of this solution will be given by what? Partial vapor pressure of A plus partial vapor pressure of B here. So P total will be is equal to PA plus PB. This is according to the Dalton's law. So if you take a liquid solution, both are being volatile, they will form vapors. That's why the total vapor pressure of such solution will be equal to the partial vapor pressure of component A plus partial vapor pressure of component B. Nothing but partial vapor pressure of solvent plus solute here. Both are being volatile, they will form the vapors here. This is in case of what? Liquid solution. One point you keep in mind, if you take the vapor pressure of pure solvent, I told that pure solvent is P naught. If some non-volatile solid is added to the pure solvent, then it forms a solution. Then what happens? Vapor pressure of the solution is less than the pure solvent, already we have discussed. So vapor pressure of the pure solvent is less than the vapor pressure of the solution. This is in case of what? Solid present in the liquid. Solid is present in the liquid. Suppose if you take this liquid solution, in this one the vapor pressure of the solution, you have to take it as what? The P total will be is equal to partial vapor pressure of the each component. That will gives what? The total pressure of the solution here. Now we will discuss Raoult's law for the solutions of solid in liquid here. So now we will discuss Raoult's law for solutions of solid in liquid. Raoult's law for solutions of solid in the liquid. Always you keep in mind here, solid is added to the liquid means solvent is liquid and solid is what? Solute here. So this is a liquid solution. We take one solvent molecule plus solute. Only solvent is liquid means solvent molecules are volatile, and solute is solid here. Solid means it is non-volatile. Non-volatile means it will not form any vapors here. Always you keep in mind, solid solute particle will not contribute towards the vapor pressure of the solution here. Only solvent molecules are forming vapors, and the total vapor pressure of the solution is only depending on the solvent molecules here. Now in this one, whenever a solution is formed by the adding solid to the liquid, a solution is formed, that I will take it as solvent is component 1, solid is component 2 here. This 2 will not contribute towards the vapor pressure. Already we know this one. Now what happens here? This component 1 is also present and component 2 is also present in the solution. This only component 1 will vaporize to form the vapors, and here only the vapors of component 1 will be formed, and they will create some pressure on the surface of the liquid, and that I will call it as vapor pressure of component 1, P1 it is. So according to the Raoult's law, for a solution, the partial vapor pressure of each component is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the solution. Here, what is the concentration of component 1 here? That I will call it as x1. The concentration of component 1 in the solution is x1 it is. So according to the Raoult's law, the partial vapor pressure of each component in the vapor phase is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the liquid phase. So what we can write here, according to Raoult's law, partial vapor pressure of volatile component, in this one volatile component is what? Only 1 here. So this is directly proportional to its mole fraction. Now what happens if I remove this proportionality sign? P1 is equal to P1 naught into x1. P1 naught already we know that one. This is P1 naught is the vapor pressure of the pure solvent before adding the solute. This is what? Vapor pressure of pure solvent. This is the vapor pressure of the solution, and this is what? Mole fraction of the component 1 in the solution it is. Now here, if x1 is equal to 1, if the mole fraction of component 1 become as 1, so what happens here? P1 will be is equal to P1 naught. So the vapor pressure of the solution become as vapor pressure of the pure solvent here. So if I plot a graph of P1 versus mole fraction of component x1 here, it varies linearly with the mole fraction of component 1. This is a P1 along y axis and x1 along x axis like this, and here x1 will be is equal to 1. Whenever the mole fraction of component 1 is 1, its vapor pressure become as what? P1 naught, that is the vapor pressure of the pure solvent. Now the graph of these two is what? They will vary linearly from 0 to the vapor pressure of the pure solvent like this it is. x1 is equal to 1, that become as P1 naught. If you come in this side, as the solute is added, its mole fraction decreases, and here the mole fraction of component 1 become as 0. When it becomes 0, its vapor pressure completely become as what? 0 here. So this is the graph for what? Raoult's law for the solution of solid in the liquid here. Always you keep in mind, this is very important here. Partial vapor pressure of the each volatile component is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the liquid here. This is what? Raoult's law for solid in the liquid. Next we will go for liquid in liquid. Now we will discuss Raoult's law for a binary solution of two volatile liquids. Raoult's law for binary solution. Binary means it is having two components. Binary solution of two volatile components. So this is the Raoult's law for what? Liquid solution. Both solvent as well as solid, both are liquid here. So this is a liquid solution. We take liquid solution, we call it as. So in this liquid solution, we take solvent is also liquid plus solute is also liquid here. So I will take it as component 1 solvent component 2 is what? Solute. So solvent is also liquid, solute is also liquid here. Both are volatile here. Volatile means both are forming vapors. This also volatile and this also volatile here. Okay. So whenever these two components are mixed together to form a solution, it becomes like this. So this is your solution, which is prepared by mixing component 1 plus component 2 here. So this is the liquid phase. The mole fraction of the component 1 in the liquid phase is called as X1. I will call it as. Mole fraction of the component 2 in the liquid phase is what? X2. Both are being volatile, they will form vapors. So components, the vapors of component 1 are also formed, and they will create some pressure on the surface of the liquid, and the vapor pressure due to the component 1 is called as what? Partial vapor pressure of the component 1, that is I will call it as P1. This component 2, it is also being liquid, it will form some vapors, that is also being volatile in nature. So the pressure created by the vapors of component 2 on the surface of the liquid, that is I will call it as P2, the partial vapor pressure of the component 2 here. Next, the composition of component 1 in the vapor phase is called as Y1. In the vapor phase, this is what? Mole fraction. Mole fraction of the component 1 in the vapor phase is Y1. Mole fraction of the component 2 in the vapor phase is what? Y2 here. Okay, these are the important terms you have to follow in case of liquid-liquid solution for the Raoult's law. Now, according to the Raoult's law, we know that the partial vapor pressure of each volatile component is directly proportional to its mole fraction in the liquid here. So partial vapor pressure of each volatile component is what here? This also volatile and this also volatile. P1 is directly proportional to X1 and P2 is directly proportional to what? X2. The pressure created by the component 2 is directly proportional to the mole fraction in the liquid. Pressure created by the component 1 is directly proportional to what? Its mole fraction in the liquid, that is X1, according to the Raoult's law here. So, and what is the total vapor pressure of the solution here? Total vapor pressure of the solution is given by what? Dalton's law. P total will be is equal to P1 plus P2, that is the partial vapor pressure of component 1 and partial vapor pressure of component 2 here. So the total vapor pressure of the solution is nothing but P1 plus P2 according to the Dalton's law. Now here, according to Raoult's law, what we can write here? That is partial vapor pressure of each component. I'll write like this. That is P1 is directly proportional to the X1. Similarly, P2 is directly proportional to the X2 here. So if you remove the proportionality sign, you will get P1 is equal to P1 naught into X1, and here you will get P2 is equal to P2 naught into X2. P1 naught and P2 naught, these are the vapor pressure of the pure solvents. Before forming the solution, the vapor pressure of pure components, vapor pressure of pure component 1 is P1 naught, vapor pressure of the pure component 2 is what? P2 naught it is. Okay. So this is the Raoult's law, and from Dalton's law we know that P total will be is equal to P1 plus P2 it is. Okay. Now we will write the different terms which are used in this law here, that is P1 and P2. Partial vapor pressure of component 1 and 2 respectively. P1 and P2 are what? Partial vapor pressures. X1 and X2, mole fraction of component 1 and 2 respectively. These are what? Mole fraction of components. Next, P1 naught and P2 naught, vapor pressure of pure components 1 and 2 respectively. Next, here Y1 and Y2, Y1 and Y2 are mole fraction of component 1 and 2 in vapor phase. Component 1 and 2 in vapor phase, that is mole fraction in the vapor phase. Okay, these are the important terms. So what we have used in the Raoult's law for a binary solution of two volatile components here. Next thing, so from Raoult's law we know that total vapor pressure of the solution, that is P1 is P1 plus P2 it is. So from Raoult's law, P1 and P2 we know that P1 is equal to P1 naught x1, P2 is equal to P2 naught x2. So Pt is equal to total vapor pressure of the solution will be is equal to P1 naught into x1 plus P2 naught into x2. And these x1 and x2 are what here? These are the mole fraction of the solvent and the solute here. Here if I put x1 is equal to 1 minus x2, because we know that x1 plus x2 is equal to 1, always sum of the mole fraction of the components will be is equal to 1 here. So x1 is equal to 1 minus x2 I can write, or x2 is equal to 1 minus x1 also I can write here. So here P total will be is equal to P1 naught 1 minus x2 plus P2 naught into x2 here. So if you multiply this one, P1 naught minus P1 naught x2 plus P2 naught x2. From these two you take x2 as a common. This is a P1 naught plus x2 into P2 naught minus P1 naught. Okay, this is the P total. The total vapor pressure of the solution will be is equal to P1 naught plus x2 into P2 naught minus P1 naught it is. Now suppose if you substitute x is equal to x2 is equal to 1 minus x1, again you will get the equation like this: Pt is equal to P2 naught plus x1 into P1 naught minus P2 naught you will get. Suppose if I substitute x2 is equal to 1 minus x1 here. Now what I have done here, x1 is equal to 1 minus x2 I have taken, so that I will get this equation. If you put x2 is equal to 1 minus x1, then again you will get this equation here. From these two equations you will come to know that the total vapor pressure of the solution is related to the mole fraction of the solvent or mole fraction of the solute it is. So it is related to the mole fraction of solvent as well as solute, since P1 naught and P2 naught, these are constants here. These are constants and this is only variable here. So since P1 naught and P2 naught are constants, P total depends on x1 or x2. This is nothing but mole fraction of solute or mole fraction of the solvent. This is the solvent and this is solute here. So according to Raoult's law, the plot of P total versus x1 or the plot of P total versus x2, these two must be straight line, because this P total varies linearly with the mole fraction of solvent as well as mole fraction of the solute here. Now we will draw the graph for Raoult's law. So this graphical representation is very, very important. Always you keep in mind, according to the Raoult's law, the graph of P1 versus x1, this will be always a straight line, and that passes through the P1 naught vapor pressure of the pure component 1 when x1 is equal to 1. Whenever the mole fraction of component 1 is equal to 1, then this graph that passes through what? P1 naught. Similarly, if I take P2 naught versus x2, again this also what? A straight line that passes through the P2 naught whenever x2 is equal to 1 here. x2 is taken as 1. Now for instance, what we will take is that volatility of the component. Component 1 is less volatile than the component 2. Here component 1 is less volatile than component 2. So the vapor pressure of the pure component 1 is less than the vapor pressure of pure component 2, because both are what, liquids only here. So the graph will draw like this here. In this one we will get the graph like this, and this graph is very, very important. Okay, here we will take mole fraction of component 1 is equal to x1, and here the mole fraction of component 2 is equal to what, x1. Now we will draw the graph for Raoult's law. According to the Raoult's law, the plot of P1, that is a partial vapor pressure of component 1 versus x1, this will be a straight line, and this straight line, it passes through the P1 naught when x1 is equal to 1 here, and the graph of P2 versus x2, again it will be a straight line, and that passes through the P2 when x2 is equal to 1 here. For instance, we will consider component 1 is less volatile than component 2, so that volatility component 1 is less volatile than component 2 here. Now I will draw the graph for this one. The value of P total is that lies between the P1 naught and P2 naught here, that we will show it in the graph. Now the graph will be like this. So this graph is very, very important. Okay, like this. Suppose if I take mole fraction of component 1 is 1, and here we will take mole fraction of component 2, that is x2 is equal to 1, and at this point x1 become as 0 and here x2 become as 0. You keep in mind, if you come this direction, the mole fraction of component 1 will increase. If you go in this direction, mole fraction of component 2 will increase here. So this is the composition of the solution. Okay, and when x2 is equal to 1, x1 completely become as 0. When x1 is equal to 1, x2 completely become as what, 0. And in the graph we know that here when x1 is equal to 1, the graph of P1 versus x1 will pass through the P1 naught. So component 1 is less volatile, component 2 is more volatile. So I will take component 2 P2 naught here, and this is P1 naught. Vapor pressure of pure component 1 is less than the vapor pressure of pure component 2 here. Now in a component 1, whenever component 2 is added, its mole fraction of component 1 will go on decreases, and the graph will be like this it is. And what happens here? Its vapor pressure go on decrease, and when x2 become as 1, x1 is 0 means the vapor pressure of component 1 completely become as 0 here. So this is the, I will take it as P1 it is. Now similarly, if you come in this direction towards the left hand side, what happens? Mole fraction of x2 will decrease, and similarly its partial pressure also decreases, and this one I will take it as what, P2 here. Next, the total vapor pressure of the solution is given by what? P total. Pt is equal to, P total is equal to P1 plus P2. Partial vapor pressure of component 1 plus partial vapor pressure of component 2. This gives what? P total. The value of P total, it lies between the P1 naught and P2 naught, and the minimum value of Pt is what? P1 naught. Maximum value is what? P2 naught it is. So this is the graph for what? Raoult's law for a binary solution of two volatile components it is. Okay. Next point.